Hey everybody, this is Dan with the Bob with some truth. Let's get into Wikileaks. There have been some new bombshell revelations that we have to cover. It says a lot about Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party. So let's get into it with the Bob with some truth. All right, so let's get into these emails. The first one I want to go over is somebody from the Department of Justice letting the Hillary Clinton campaign know that they were going to be investigated for the emails ahead of time. This is big, folks. They were tipped off by a man named Peter Kadzik. He sent an email to Podesta, the communications chairperson for Hillary Clinton, on May 19th, 2015. It says there's an oversight hearing today where the head of our civil division will testify, likely to get questions on State Department emails, another filing in the Freedom of Information case, which went in last night or will go in this morning, which indicates it will be a while, 2016, before the State Department posts the emails. I'm going to link all this below. So the Hillary campaign is being tipped off that they're going to be investigated about the emails a year before we found out the conclusion, quote unquote, of that investigation. So when it comes to the WikiLeaks, we see the Clinton campaign participating in potential rigging of the primaries as early as 2014. Remember, Bernie Sanders supporters such as myself, we were saying that there was a lot of things going on to make it look like these primaries were rigged, and now we have proof. So, what we see is that the Hillary Clinton campaign, I'm going to read a little bit of this email because we need to know what happened here. So, the Hillary Clinton campaign says in the email that we discussed him taking the lead on a strategy outline, seeing if we can get Massachusetts and Virginia to push their primaries back. Number two, keep the big blue states, New York, New Jersey, California, etc., from moving their primaries earlier. Three, trying to get Louisiana and West Virginia to join Super Tuesday. They wanted to keep the red states as early as possible because they didn't want a primary competitor winning significant African-American votes. Look at that. But also increase the likelihood that the Republicans nominate someone extreme. That happened. So they are talking about that if she gets a significant primary challenger, we need to consider changing course and getting New York, New Jersey, and maybe others to move their dates earlier in order to give her hefty early wins. This is big, folks. They're saying put together action items. Here's the key. We may need allies to help in this process, but we're going to look at each state one step at a time, limiting as much as possible the perception of direct intervention by the principals. So they are looking to do everything they can to set the primaries up to favor Hillary and to disadvantage somebody running against her who had a strong following like, Bernie Sanders. And we also see in the WikiLeaks that they were looking to affect the debate schedule purposefully, keeping it out of the window with the major primaries, that was Debbie Wasserman Schultz, so that it would hurt the opponent of Hillary Clinton. Like, Donna Brazile was right. This was a coronation for Hillary Clinton the entire time. Let's go over the last one. This is important. So we see in one of the most recent emails that Robbie Mook, the campaign manager for Hillary Clinton, tells Debbie Wasserman Schultz to have meetings with the other candidates. This is before Hillary even announces, before the official launch of her campaign, to have meetings with other candidates so that it doesn't look like they're being biased. His email says, I'm going to quote, I asked that he make sure Debbie Wasserman Schultz has meetings scheduled with other potential candidates so they could credibly say they're meeting with everyone. This was sent January 2015. From before the even primaries happened, they were putting the pieces in play to make sure that Hillary won with as few obstacles as possible. That's not democratic. That is not living up to the name of your party. And it seems so many people are fine with it because they are so afraid and so opposing of Trump. Well, I don't like Trump either. I'm not supporting him. I'm not voting for him. But that doesn't mean that I don't care about justice and liberty and democracy if we say these things matter. And they didn't matter to the Democratic Party at all. They're tipped off about emails. They're rigging things. They supported a law in Illinois so that they could adjust the primary to benefit Hillary. How does that show any care for you and for me when we go into the polls? This really was for the Democratic side. It was not an election. You did not elect people. I didn't elect people. We selected. And they made sure, if at all possible, to make sure that we selected Hillary Clinton and that the obstacles against Bernie were insurmountable. And so this matters, folks, because if Hillary wins and becomes president, this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with someone who is at the center of a massive corrupt machine that will feel validated because they were able to win the presidency with corruption, with deceit, with lying. And this is important too. If you vote for her, unless you're in a swing state, you're signing off on this. Like, you're condoning this. There's no way around it. There's none. Every one of us are accountable for our actions, what we do and what we don't do. You don't get to get out of it. I don't get to get out of it. Whoever you vote for, you are accountable if they win for what they do and what they don't do. That's the truth. I'm accountable for my past Obama votes. I'm accountable for Jill Stein, because that's one vote. I'm not voting for these two big candidates. We're accountable for what we do. So you can vote for Hillary. I'm not telling you what you can and can't do. I'm not even telling you who to vote for. But understand, if you vote for her, if she wins, you are accountable for what she does as the president. You're accountable for what she doesn't do as president. And you don't get to get out of that. No matter how much you want to, no matter what excuses you give, no matter how many times you say Trump's name and his face appears in the mirror, you're still responsible for that. We are all responsible for our actions and for our choices. And the Democratic Party is anything but democratic. And Wikileaks, thank goodness they're showing us the truth. If you're new to this video, I hope that you will click subscribe and see more of what we do here. This is the solo videos that I do, but I do tag team videos with Emmanuel, and we record those on the weekends. If you like this video, click like. If you know somebody who needs to know what's going on with Wikileaks, then click subscribe. I've already said that. Share the video as well so that they can see what's going on. But this has been Daniel with the Bobbers from Truth.